When you want to make changes to the table layout screen, go up to Table Setup and choose Set up Table Layout. Now what we're looking at right now is a graphic image that I've applied to the PixelPoint system. This is a file called tablelayout.jpg, and you can create any form of image using any software, and as long as it's saved as a JPEG image under that name and put into the Pixel POS system, you will have this backdrop applied to it. That's really something that your installer or programmer would set up for you. If you want to apply a table to it, simply go up to any of these three icons, being a round table, a square table, or a diamond-shaped table. To apply one, do a click and drag, and when you release, you'll come up with this window asking you to enter a table number. Now in here, it will default to the last table number that resides on file. What we want to do is change this to the first number. So we just go over top of that and clear it, and then we're going to put in table 1. You'll notice now I have a round table, and it's table number 1. To apply a square table, do the same thing. You'll notice now it defaults to 2. And if I do a diamond-shaped table, it defaults to 3, and it will continue on numerically. If you want to reposition any of these tables, just click and drag on it and put it into the desired position. If you want to resize any of these tables, select on it, and so it's highlighted in yellow. This means that you're in edit mode. And now from here, we have some standard sizing: large, medium, and regular. So you can use any of those standard sizes. Or if you want to go with a custom size, go to the little square box that's in the upper left corner of that table, and from there do a click and drag. And you can resize the table. Other things you can do as well is apply your own objects. You'll see here I've got a rounded square, a circle, and a square. To apply one, select on the desired object, come down to the table layout, and do a click and drag. There I have a square on the table layout screen. From here I can edit this as well. Select on the Edit button and choose the object. From here you'll notice I can resize it. I can also change its color. And within that color as well, I can assign it different patterns. You can also have multiple objects, and you can have them layered over top of each other. For example, I'll take a circle and apply that. Now I have the blue circle on the green rectangle. From here, I can actually change the order of these. Select on the object, and then use these arrow keys. Send to back, bring to front. So you can layer them. Other things you can do as well, I can apply straight lines and text. When you're working with different objects or tables, you'll notice that upon selecting any one of them, you can move them around, but in doing that is a bit of a choppy movement to it. The reason being is that there's a grid underneath all of this, which allows you to align your tables and objects a little better. But if you want to position something in a very precise spot, what you can do is go over to the very far right, and this is the Snap to Grid button. Now, by unselecting this, I've now removed that grid from behind. And now when I move my object around, it's a very smooth movement, and I can be very precise as to where I want to position something. If you want to make some changes to the tables, for example, I have a dining section. I have tables 1, 2, and 3 here. What I can do is hold down the Control key on my keyboard and select on each table. What I've just done now is I've tagged these objects. And now from here, if I right click on them, I now come up with the tag menu. And from here, I can make common changes to all of them. So for example, I can change their table section. and I can say this is the courtyard. Now what I've just done now is I've changed the settings for these, and if you went into table settings, you would notice that tables 1, 2, and 3 have changed to the courtyard dining section. I can also change the number of seats that's allocated to them. So now these are all two-seaters. Other things you can do as well. I have, for example, this object. If I come up to Edit Object, you'll notice here I have Duplicate Object. So if there's something I want to create multiple times and they're exactly the same size, I can select on this, and I now have two of the same object. We also have a pull-down menu that says Layout Settings. Now within this, I have a few things I can play around with. First of all, we have Layout Font. In choosing Layout Font, this will allow you to change the font, the size, and the lettering that shows up with any of the text. Floor Color. If I remove the background display, you'll see that everything is white. And if I don't want to go with a graphic image, then I can select on Layout Settings and Floor Color. I can make the background any color I want. I can also change the layout resolution. Within here, right now it's set to 1024 by 768. That refers to this line that's moving down the side here. If I was to scroll down, you'll notice that there are these image lines here, and these serve as your guide when you are designing the floor layout screen. Coming back to layout resolution, I can change them to an 800 by 600 pattern or 640 by 480. Or you can customize these settings as well. Now these lines will not show up on the front end. They will only show up in this screen to serve as a guide when you're designing your floor layout. When you're finished, go up to File, Save As, and save it as a desired name. And then later on within the programming, you can apply this floor layout to the stations.